If something came up and you're thinking about rescheduling your biometrics, I hope this video will show you how bad of an idea that is. Hi everyone, this is Joseph. I'm the managing partner here at Tsang Associates, where we solve legal problems with creative solutions. And the legal problem here is needing to reschedule the biometrics appointment again and again and again and again. And the reason is because USCIS automated the biometric system. In the past, as you would expect, if you can't make a particular appointment, you call in, you write in, and you let them know, hey, I'm out of the country already, or for whatever reason, I can't make it on that particular date. Can I speed up a few days? Can I reschedule to 4 months later? An officer reviews it, puts it in, sends you a new notice, and that's fine. Or sometimes I even had an email communication and they just immediately let them in on that particular date. That is easy. Now, because the system has been automated, you took out the human intellect and it becomes a very problematic thing. Let me explain what you need to do in order to reschedule your biometrics appointment. So if you have an appointment coming up and you can't make it, the first thing you need to do is call USCIS. Beware, you might have to wait 100 minutes to 200 minutes on the phone because that's how long it takes before an officer might pick up to talk to you. And this is not even a USCIS officer, it's mostly a contractor that's just taking down your information. They're gonna verify you are who you say you are, your case number, and some personal information about you, just like if you're calling AT&T or any other company in the US. Now, what's really important is that the applicant has to call him or herself. The attorney for the applicant can call, but outside of that, you cannot. You can't have a family or a friend or a neighbor call on your behalf. The officer is going to ask you, well, please bring them on the phone. So you need to be personally available when the call goes through. But the reality is a lot of people have already left the US after they filed the reentry permit because they couldn't wait a few weeks or a few months to get the biometrics appointment. So now they're waiting in Europe, they're waiting in Asia. What can they do? If a friend is calling USCIS, the moment the officer picks up, they need to immediately, within 30 seconds, transfer and link in the person overseas. And that person couldn't get on the phone, well then the officer's gonna hang up and now you have to do it again. Another 100 or another 200 minutes. And that is the smallest problem. Let's say you're able to get the applicant on the phone or the attorney on the phone to talk to this USCIS officer. All they're doing is taking down, oh, okay, you need to reschedule. Got it. I'm going to have an official USCIS officer call you back. Goodbye. And then they hang up. Now, how long do you think it will take for them to call you back? An hour? 15 minutes? The next day, maybe? No. A lot of times they call you back in 14 days. And within this 14 days, and most of the time they don't call you within a few days, they call you in 14 days. When they call you back, they don't tell you when to call you back, and they only call you back once, right? It's not like they're gonna call you and then a few hours later they call you again and again. They just call you once, and if you don't pick up, sorry, your case is closed. You start back on step one, having to wait the 100 to 200 minutes, calling USCIS, a contractor picks up, you need to link in the other person, right? So the whole process starts all over again. And guess what? When the officer calls you back 14 days after your first call, guess what they're gonna ask? Are you the applicant? If you're not, you have to link in the applicant again. Maybe this is 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe this is 7 o'clock in the morning over there. You don't know what time. And that has been a tremendous problem. But the nightmare doesn't end. After that second call, the officer says, okay, I got it. We'll send you an appointment notice. The officer can't even schedule you in to do it maybe 4 months from now. The officer can't do it like, oh, I understand you can't make it because you're out of the country. Maybe we'll cancel it or we will reuse your biometrics. All they can do is put your case back into this automated system, and this automated system will shoot out a new biometrics appointment, and then the applicant will get it in the mail. A lot of times our clients have already left the country, so when they get to the mail, they're not even here, right? And the last problem, and this is probably the most annoying problem, is that the new biometrics that came in the mail, that you finally picked up and you look at it, is that you have to go to biometrics appointment again within a few days. So all of this trouble to reschedule the biometrics appointment only makes it so that you have to now call USCIS again and start with the 100-minute problem and then the 14-day callback problem again and again. And that is why now at our firm, we have an entire department, and it's the calling center department, I call it, and they're just calling USCIS every single day to reschedule, because our client, you file the reentry permit, they left the country, now you get a biometrics appointment to come in because they couldn't reuse the biometrics data because maybe there wasn't a biometrics data on file for the past few years. And so now, a month later, they need to fly back to do the biometrics. Well, what if you can't? Well, then now you need to call. And then 14 days later, they call back, and then they understand, and then they send a biometrics appointment. And now, after another few weeks, you have to go to biometrics again, and if the client isn't willing to fly back again, then you need to do it again and again. We have some clients that we are already doing the 4th rescheduling, and this could go on and on and on until USCIS fixes the problem. Now, I'm not blaming USCIS. They're trying to solve a much bigger problem, a huge backlog. People used to have to wait 3 months, 4 months, 6 months before they get their biometrics appointment, and they need to leave urgently. Now with the new system, it pumps it out, you get it much faster. It's not fast enough, but it is faster. But what if you can't make it on that day because of an urgent reason? Now you created this other chaotic problem. Now this problem is really, really only super problematic for people who are not in the US and they have to fly back to the US to do it. So maybe this is only a small subset of the population, maybe only a few 100,000 people around the world have this problem, but it is still a few 100,000 people, and attorneys are not willing to do it. Most of the attorneys I know are not willing to call and reschedule for their client. And so what we see is extra tiring, because now there's attorneys who are not willing to do it, clients themselves who cannot call and reschedule, and we cannot do it on their behalf because we are not the attorney on file. And so we cannot say we are the attorney. Even if we give a G28, we cannot say we are the attorney. So it becomes a very difficult situation that we have to maneuver around. And so that's why we created this call center in order to do this for so many people around the world. But I'm hopeful that USCIS is going to solve this particular problem within 6 months to a year, because they promised it at the AILA conference this past summer. But until then, this is what we have to do. So if you are thinking about canceling your biometrics appointment, rescheduling it to a different date, just know how difficult it is. It's not impossible, but it is a pain in the butt. All right, that's it. The next video is going to be about what happens if you missed your biometrics appointment. That's another nightmare. Let's get to it.